For so many kids, the written word isn't a source of joy. It's a source of frustration. It's like the secret code that everyone else seems to get, and they feel totally locked out. So today, we're going to talk about a really powerful key that can unlock that code for them. And this quote from Emma, a first grader, just hits you, right? This is what it feels like for so many kids. It's this deep feeling of being on the outside looking in, of being left behind while everyone else is in on the secret. So, what's going on here? Well, it's really important to get this. This struggle isn't about a kid not trying hard enough. It's usually about missing a fundamental key to unlocking how our language is built. And that challenge, honestly, carries a ton of emotional weight. And this feeling, it creates this tough cycle for everyone involved, for the kids, for their parents, for their teachers. That page in front of them, it's not just silent. To them, it feels impossible. Okay, but what if we flip the script? What if we started seeing reading not just as, letters on a page, but as a system of sounds? Well, that's where the power of phonetics comes in. Think of it like finding a treasure map that shows you exactly how our language works. And at the very heart of this map is something called a phoneme. It's simply the smallest individual sound in a word. Just think of it like a single Lego brick. On its own, it's not much, right? But you put enough of them together and you can build incredible things. That's exactly what phonemes do for our language. Okay, let's look at a super simple example. The only thing that changes between the word bat and the word cat is that very first sound. The b sound becomes a k sound. That one tiny little change, it creates a completely different word. And that is the magic of phonetics. Helping a child really hear and understand that difference, that's a huge first step. Okay, so we know what we need to teach, but how do we do it? In a way that's actually engaging and effective, especially for kids who are already frustrated with the usual ways of learning. Well, the answer is to make it an experience, not just another lesson. We have to move beyond just listening. We have to get all the senses involved to make this abstract idea of a sound something a kid can actually see and touch and even feel. And that's exactly what we mean when we say multisensory. So you can have them use their hands, molding letters out of clay. You can use their eyes with bright, colorful flashcards. You can even get their whole bodies moving, maybe making up little dances for different sounds. Every single one of those senses creates a new path in the brain, and that makes the connection to the sound so much stronger. And here's a really simple but super powerful game you can try right away. It's called sound swap. You start with an easy word, like cat, and then you just ask them, hey, what happens if we swap out that first sound? And suddenly you have bat, mat, hat. It totally turns what could be a stressful test into a fun little puzzle, and their confidence just builds with every new word they figure out. Now, these tools are fantastic. They really are. But they work best when they're part of something bigger, a whole supportive ecosystem. One teacher or one parent trying to do it all alone, that's a tough road. It really does take a village to build a reader. You need the classroom to be a place where sounds are explored. You need families to be actively involved. It helps so much when kids feel like their friends are in it with them too. And all of this is supported by the wider community. When all those pieces work together, you create this amazing culture of literacy. So let's make this real. Let's see how all these ideas come together in the story of Mia, a 10-year-old who was diagnosed with dyslexia. Her journey really shows you the kind of impact this can have. Mia's story is just a perfect example of this in action. You can see her journey here, from feeling totally isolated and struggling to this moment of real triumph. Her teacher brought in these great multisensory tools, like a personal sound book. But you know where the real magic happened? It was when her family got on board, practicing with her every single night. That team effort, it didn't just teach her how to read, it completely rebuilt her confidence and helped her finally find the joy in stories. And that's the crucial takeaway here. There is no single magic trick. There's no one app you can download or one worksheet that's going to solve everything for a struggling reader. Instead, it's this really powerful combination of things. It all starts with empathy, really understanding what that child is going through emotionally. Then, you bring in the right tools, the engaging, multisensory ones. And finally, you wrap all of that in a strong community of support, from teachers, family, and friends. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, a parent, a grandparent, or a friend. How will you use these ideas?
the empathy, the tools, and the community to help build a really sound foundation for a young reader in your life.